What's the deal with the people, man? Gather in, bro. Gather in. If the last 6 months ain't been the craziest 6 months of my life, I don't know what will be, bro. Like, that shit was just, it was a whirlwind, bro. Like, it was a battle between, like, faith and doubt, worry, fear, all that type of shit. And the first time that I didn't have, I didn't have no source of income. Like I just stopped working with my family just for personal reasons and shit. And like I'm like I can't work with family and shit. So I'm about to just go do my own thing. And like having handouts and just by family, having handouts, being helped by family and shit like that. And not the type of help where it's like, you deserve this, let me give it to you. It's just kind of like, well, I kind of have to do this, and if I don't, you'll resent me for it type shit. You feel what I'm saying? That's how I felt that it was. So I couldn't be in that environment. But it's like once I left that, like I'ma just do things on my own. I ain't gonna give nobody you know, the the damn, it's a word that I want to use, bro. Fuck. I ain't gonna give nobody like the power to be like, well, I did this for you, or I'm doing this for you, so I have a reason to be treating you a certain way. You feel what I'm saying? So past that, I'm like, all right, no job. I'm like still hopeful though. I'm like, shit finna work out for me because that was powerful. That was powerful. Like I felt empowered when I did that because I did not give up my integrity, my morals, and my values for someone else's liking. You feel what I'm saying? And then a couple days later, I like looked at that situation in a different way because it's kind of like you don't let nobody move you from your spot. You feel what I'm saying? And at the same time, nothing that's yours can be taken away from you. You feel what I'm saying? But it's being more mature and like knowing who you around, knowing your surroundings, knowing who you dealing with. So you have the upper hand. Cause it's like when you go out into the world, everybody wants to say something about the way you do something or the way that you act, like how you have your routine about yourself. You feel me? So everybody got something to say about everything. So for me, it's just like, you know, I don't care what you think. So just go live your life already. But anyway, on another point, that was a good job. Where I came from, that was a good ass job, and it was paying a good amount, and I was doing good for myself. You feel what I'm saying? But that wasn't the case. That wasn't, like I said, my integrity, my morals, and my values was being fucked with, and I can't stay in a position where that's doing that. I can't just evade my feelings and like not pay attention to what's happening in order to fucking make money. That's just, I don't know how to do that. I just fucked myself up trying to do that. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't even go there. So once I left that, I'm like I said, empowered. I'm looking for jobs and shit. I'm like doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm like, damn, you feel me? Like shit ain't happening in a day. Shit ain't happening overnight. So I'm like, fuck. Like how long I gotta wait to fucking do this shit, bro? To get a job? Cause I never really had to get a job on my own, let alone quit a whole job and have to find a whole nother one before I start having to pay bills again. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like looking, and I'm like at the same time like trusting, bro. Like at the same time like, God, like how? Like, but I'm not like, God, why the fuck you not giving me what I asked for? I'm not like, God, why are you working so slow? Like I'm not blaming God for the things that's happening. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like faithful as fuck. I'm like really trusting because it's like God ain't directly having a conversation with me. It's the energy you have to feel in order to move, which is called why you use your intuition, which is why you use your gut feeling for certain decisions. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just sitting there, I'm listening. I'm just like, all right, God, you keep telling me to rest and trust, and I keep seeing good ass signs about abundance and things like that. And so I'm like, fine, I'm just taking my mind off of it. I'm going to the park all the time. I'm doing 30 days of poetry. I'm doing fucking making music. I'm writing. I'm like doing all types of shit just to keep my mind off of this shit, bro. I'm like, as soon as I stop thinking about it, as soon as I forget about it, as soon as it's the furthest thing from my mind, it's just gonna pop up. That's just how I think. And so I'm like, doing whatever. I'm like, all right, fine. Like, at this point, I'm having to make a decision. Am I going to go back to the situation I was in that was really coming for my integrity, my morals, and my values and shit? Am I going to have to go back to that shit? Or am I just going to thug it out and whatever happens, happens? Because I know God is not going to make me be in debt. God is not gonna make me hunger. God is not gonna make me thirst. You feel what I'm saying? God is not gonna let those things happen. God is not gonna not have a roof over my head. You feel me? And so believing that, I'm just like, all right, just let it be what it is. I'm like, I'm gonna call and see what I could do. And on top of that, it was like, I'm about to sell everything. Like, you gonna have to move out the house and all types of shit. You feel me? It was a bunch of shit that I'm like, weight of the world. You feel me? How much heavier is this shit gonna be? You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I get on the phone. I call. I'm like, all right, I need to come back. Like, I need some more hours. Motherfucker give me a whole ass job, and I wasn't complaining. Don't even get me wrong. I wasn't complaining because I needed that. The nigga give me a whole ass position an hour and 30 minutes away from where I stay. Damn near goddamn 2 hours. You feel me? I don't know if the nigga was being funny, or I don't know if the nigga was like, this really the only thing I got for this motherfucker, so let me just drop this on her. You feel me? I don't know what the case was, but that was the case at that time. Worked there one day, bro. Even before I worked there for the one day, Macy's hit me up, boy. The I can't even say it's a store, but of course, but I was finna say the mall. But Macy's, the store, hit me up the second after I get off the phone with this person talking about a job. Macy's hit me up like, we want to hire you. I'm like, oh shit, bro. Like, this gotta be God. Cause it's like, I don't want you to go back to that position. I don't want you to go back to where you gotta compromise your biggest things, the shit that means the most to you. I don't want you to feel like you gotta compromise that shit just to be in that environment. So let me just hook you up with this right quick. And it's so crazy because the name of the position at Macy's was called recovery, bro. It's called recovery. And this is what I was doing during this time. I'm like, I gotta recover from fucking thinking about what happened in this position and in this situation. I gotta recover from not having a job, not having a source of income and shit like that. I'm like, you feel what I'm saying? So I'm like thanking God on this day, bro. I'm like up in heaven and in the sky and the angels and the stars and the moon and shit right now. And so I come to the park, I burn my Palo Santo, and I'm just fucking loving it, bro. Like, I'm like, before this certain amount of time, I said before the end of November, I was gonna have a job, a source of income. And then guess what God did? Right before the end of November, bro. Yeah, right before the end of November, bro. I'm like, I didn't even have no words. I'm like, it's like an intuitive knowing. Is you deeply know that God is finna do something for you. It's just the fact that you don't know when. So that makes you antsy. because you want to control everything. You want to pinpoint everything. You want to be ready for everything. You cannot. Like, I'm speaking to myself. But it's like you can't be ready for everything. You can't handle everything. You can't control everything. You can't be right about everything. You can't, like, come on, bro. You also not finna be wrong about everything. You also have gut feelings that you don't trust that end up do happening, that are good or bad. Like, it's a balance. You feel what I'm saying? I was so focused on having it a certain way. It was just like, fuck it. It can't be this certain way. So, you feel me? So we go through that. I get into the recovery, and it's all Mexicans, bro. Like, that's all they speak is Spanish, and that's just who run the shit over there. And so I'm having to learn language and making sure that I'm good every time I'm around these people, because you never know what the fuck they be talking about, what they be saying. So I'm listening for the verbs and the little keywords and shit, trying to figure out, is I'm cool and I'm not in the conversation. You feel me? Because females be looking at me hard. Women be looking at me hard as fuck when I go into the women's bathroom. Like, that's a bad thing. I be saying fuck you with my mouth closed all the time, though. So I don't really give a fuck about none of that. So we worked the recovery for 2 whole months. December. Well, we worked recovery for a month and a half. I didn't realize it was that short of a time. So we worked recovery for a month and a half and shit, and like we do what's called inventory. And so we checking all the clothes and shit, make sure everything accounted for, make sure all the numbers in that bitch. And then, like, while we doing that, they telling us like, oh, thank you, y'all. We wouldn't be able to do this without y'all, blah bitty blah blah bitty. And the next fucking week, nigga, they let everybody off. They ain't bring none of us back in that motherfucker. Not a phone call, not a number hit, or nothing in that bitch. Boy, I'm sitting up there like, what the fuck am I gonna do, bro? And not even that. God, I thank you for my abundance. It's a money truck over there. But let me just boom. When you see a money truck, bitch. Nah, but anyway, let's get back. Where was I at? They didn't call nobody back in that motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there like, fuck it, God, I'm done. Like, I had just talked to somebody, and they told me like they was gonna give me a full-time position, and so I'm in that bitch cool. Like, I ain't got shit to worry about. I'm gonna have a job after this. Like, this ain't just seasonal for me. Like, I don't know about the rest of these niggas, but I'm being this motherfucker really working, and off that seasonal shit, I'm gonna be full-time. Niggas gonna be paying me, and I'm gonna be doing that, and that shit's gonna be right. Nigga, I was sitting at home with my knees to my chest, crying like, God, I'm through. Whatever you will have done with me next. Like, that shit was crucial, bro. I was really sitting up in the house like, I don't want to find another job. I don't want to ask a motherfucker for a piece of corn or a lint or a penny or nothing, bitch. I was fed up. Bro. I'm like, I'm tired of being lied to. I'm tired. Like, I was going through so many fucking emotions in that time, bro, and I just resorted to sitting on the fucking couch, bro. Like, and on top of that, I had started smoking weed again, so it was even more like, well, down the drain your shit goes, my nigga. Like, I was just in the house, not willing to do anything about the situation that I was in, bro, and just smoking. And then all of a sudden, I'm like listening to all types of shit. I'm like, how am I off my shit? Like, how am I not on top of what I need to be on top of? I start looking at little details, looking at little different things that I did, looking at little different things that I said and never did. You feel what I'm saying? It's like I went back to all the shit that I wrote before I had money, and it started clicking to me. Like when you get the money, you don't do the things that you say you're gonna do, which is why you always end up in the position that you be in. You feel what I'm saying? And so this whole time has just been a learning experience. It's just been a fucking learning curve, bro, and it's been so enriching. And up until two days ago, or matter of fact, we'll say the beginning of this week. The beginning of this week, I put in 7 applications, bro. Just put in 7 applications on Indeed. And like 2 people hit me immediately, and we did what we needed to do. Then I found this cold ass fucking one person out of the 2 people that emailed me. Found this cold ass motherfucking job position. It only paid $10 an hour, but I get to be with kids and shit and learn about science and shit. You feel what I'm saying? So that's like one opportunity that I have. On top of that, the motherfucking supervisor, manager, motherfucking whatever, text me out the blue. Like, we got job positionings open. What's your availability and shit? What's your availability and shit? I'm like, so you gonna have me sit here for 2 weeks like ain't nothing about to jump off between the job position and trying to look for another job, and then I find another job, and then your ass come running right back on my heels and shit. But then when I got questions and shit, you want to be flittery. Like, I don't like that shit. You feel what I'm saying? I don't like that. If we gonna have a conversation, converse with me and then do whatever the hell you was gonna fucking do. Because now you distracted and I'm on a motherfucking string trying to figure out where the fuck I'm going next. You feel me? So, but that's neither here nor there. I got 2 options. And all this time has showed me, like, look, day before yesterday, I had listened to this Neville Goddard recording, and he was talking about you gotta feel yourself in the position that you in. You gotta already physically see yourself where you want to be at in order to be there. And it's not neglecting the real world or real life. It's just knowing what was meant to be for you is already going to be for you. What God had for you is already going to be for you. What is meant for you is never going to pass you by. And so the more you believe that, the more you get away from focusing on what you want, what you desire. Because when you get away from focusing on it so hard, when you get away from having to be pinpointed on it and trying to figure out ways how you can make it happen, you stop seeing the opportunities that have been happening in your life headed towards this thing. And so once you start getting super focused on it, it doesn't have no room to breathe. It doesn't have room to manifest itself because you're constantly looking for it to be in a position that it's not. But if you feel the feeling that you have it already, if you carry yourself in a way that you already got it, it's going to be quicker. You're not even going to notice how much time it took for the shit to come. You feel what I'm saying? And so that's what this time has taught me, is resting in the knowing. Don't be fucking antsy about not having a job. Don't be antsy about not having a source of income. Don't be antsy about, what you pray for not coming in. Because 10 times out of 10, damn, I forgot where my train of thought was. I forgot what I was going to say. I really forgot what I was going to say. But nah, bro, this time has really just taught me, like, resting and knowing, like, you already know this shit is gonna come. You just keep on trying to be on top of it like it ain't. And once you portray that to the universe, once you say that you want something and you act like you do not have it, the universe takes that as a motherfucking statement. When you get the acting like you ain't got that, you get the speaking shit like you ain't got that. You get the thinking shit like you ain't got that. When you act as if, when you act like you got it, and not in a way where it's being detrimental to you, then you gonna have it plus what you even fathoming. You feel what I'm saying? This is what God has taught me. Slow your ass down, nigga, and stop acting like the shit that you want is not finna happen for you. The more that you do that, the more it's gonna go away. You feel me? And also, when you do have the chance to change your life and multiply it, do it. Stick to the plan and stop playing about it. Because the more you keep on playing, you're going to end up in situations that you don't really want to be in. And it's going to be harder to get out of it because you already know that you're not supposed to be going that way. But you want to see what happens instead. So, if you want to see, curiosity always killed the motherfucking cat. That's the advice God got for me. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm moving past this situation in a very light way. I'm moving past this situation in a very triumphant way. Like, I'll never be in a position where I feel like something is not gonna come through for me. I'll never be in that position again. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't need a lot. Like, I have all that I need. And sometimes we just get this human thing where we like, well, I want more. But it's more of what? Like, and more for what? Like, you feel what I'm saying? If you just one individual, you just taking care of yourself, why do you need a whole lot? You feel me? These are questions that I go through with me and myself and I on a daily basis in my head. And like when I'm up by myself and I don't have no one around me and shit like that. So you feel me? But nah, bro, this has been a crazy ass 6 months. And I don't think it's been 6 months yet. It's been a crazy ass 4 months, nigga. Like, the shit has been fucking compacted. You feel me? I can't even explain how I was feeling during these times, during these days. I was just off. Didn't want to do nothing, didn't want to see nobody, didn't want to hang out. Nothing, bro. Nothing. And that's what I was finna say, because I don't, like, when you think of when you got a lack mindset and you still got something, like, you could have $5 to your name, $7 to your name, bro. And if you talking like, I ain't got shit, or I'm poor, I don't got nothing to get, like, you feel me? Like, come on, bro. I was sitting up in that motherfucker like, I don't got shit, bro. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And serious as a motherfucker, like, really serious. Like, what am I gonna do? Nigga got a whole something. Just don't want to spend it all because you never know what's gonna happen. Just don't want to spend none of it because you never know what's gonna happen. You need maintenance on your car and shit that's mandatory and shit. So now, you feel me? It's just a bunch of shit, bro. And I'm just sitting there with a lack mindset, knowing I'm abundant as fuck. You feel me? Only people that's gonna get that is gonna get that. You feel me? So I can't say too much if you don't know. Overnight water in the winter, it's nothing like it, bro. It's nothing the fuck like it. It's like that water boy water when the nigga was passed out on the field and he got the water from the blue. Little bottle shit. Vicky Valancourt, she came to the field to give him that blue water. That is water overnight in the winter. 30, 20-degree water. Feel me? That's when you leave your water bottles in the car, because you know that bitch is not going to be overly hot. And you can actually have some hydration and some replenishment when you drink that motherfucker. But nah, y'all, I just came to give my piece. I love y'all, though.